Studio count my money, in the studio count my money, yeah. Stay down, run this money, yeah. Niggas old news, I see they watch though. Authentic, I can't be no imposter. Cable turned up, this old head daughter. Yo, what's going on? As y'all can see, we back in here with another. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't even really got much to say. At least for an intro, you know what I'm saying? Cause shit, bro, I really like doing the lives and shit now. But I'm gonna keep doing these so I can get back in tune with, you know what I'm saying? Get back in tune with doing these type shit. I done really got used to just going live. Cause you ain't gotta edit it, none of that. You can just post, you can just go live, ain't even gotta worry about all that extra shit. But they pretty much another video about extraterrestrials and all that other shit. Showing y'all some TikTok video, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much it.
One of the 9 flying discs he says he saw at the base, which was designated S4.
I gave everything simple names. There's the top hat one, and the Jello mold, and the sport model operated without any hitches at all. I mean, it looked new.
Sport model.
If I know what a new flying saucer looks like. One of them looked like it was hit with some sort of projectile. It had a large hole in the bottom and a large hole in the top with the metal bent out, like some sort of large caliber 4 or 5 inch projectile had gone through it. I got to look inside and it had really small chairs, and I think that was the first confirmation I had. That was just a shocking thing, because every time before that I was able to label it, well, this is just a little advance that a group of scientists had formed, and they're keeping it secret, and yeah, we could have built a big disc like that, that's no problem, and we could have adapted these to make it fly, but why does it have little furniture inside, essentially little seats, and things began to click together just all too fast. The bottom of it glowed blue and began to hiss like high voltage does on a round sphere. It's my impression that the reason that they're round and have no sharp edges is to contain the high voltage. Like if you've seen on high voltage systems, insulators, things are round, or else you get a corona discharge. In either case, it began to hiss. It's in high voltage, and it lifted off the ground quietly, except with that little hiss in the background, and then that stopped as soon as it reached about 20-30 feet. There's no action-reaction system to it. There's no, like in a jet engine, exhaust gas being thrown out, no propeller, no noise. It's just, for all intents and purposes, magic.
Niggas just said magic. He really couldn't even describe that shit, you feel me? He was just like, man, he really just said that shit magic. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It really is, though, bro. Like, bro, technology is magic. That's why I say stuff like, oh, Nibiru is a planet, a sun, and a ship. Because that's magic. It's technology and magic. Your body is technology, but it can also perform magic. That's really how it is, bro. Like, real, I'll put it like this, bro. They've kind of dumbed us down to the point where it's like, we think magic and technology is separate. You feel me? But it's really the same. Especially the shit we were using. The shit our ancestors were doing, bro. Only thing you could say was magic. And call them angels and all this other shit.
If you have a machine that makes gravity, you can pretty much do anything. You can affect time. You can have force fields. All that stuff that's in science fiction becomes reality if you have a machine that can make gravity. And what we worked on in the desert was a machine that makes gravity.
Evidence shows these craft can manipulate space-time, create their own gravity. As Lazar has said,
right,
they can be from anywhere. They can be from ET, interdimensional, outer space, time travelers, all the above.
But this idea that you could fall in time and space, distance becomes irrelevant. Medium becomes irrelevant. That's where the trans-medium craft, they believe, the people researching this within our government, believe that these craft are gravity propelled. That's why there's the new programs called All Domain, because it's space, air, and sea.
Space, air, and sea. That interesting. Cause y'all already know, bro, like the ocean is space, bro.
The Bible was created for the sole purpose of enslaving humanity. The author of the Bible is in the title. It is by ball. I'm going to read you a couple verses that prove my point to a T, and you can read along with me. 1 Peter 2:18. Slaves, in reverent fear of God, submit yourselves to your masters, not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh. 1 Timothy 6:1. All who are under the yoke of slavery should consider their masters worthy of full respect, so that God's name and our teachings may not be slandered. Colossians 3:22. Slaves, obey your earthly master in everything, and do it not only when their eye is on you and to curry their favor, but with sincerity of heart and reverence for the Lord. Colossians 4:1. Masters, provide your slaves with what is right and fair, because you know that you also have a master in heaven. Ephesians 6:5. Slaves, obey your earthly master with respect and fear and sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. Ephesians 6:9. And masters, treat your slaves in the same way. Do not threaten them, since you know that he who is both their master and yours is in heaven, and there is no favoritism with him. Exodus 21:32. If the bull gores a man or a female slave, the owner must pay 30 shekels of silver to the master of the slave, and the bull is to be stoned. Exodus 21:20 and 21. Anyone who beats their male slave or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave unalives as a direct result. But they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property. Leviticus 25, verse 44 through 46. Your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of their temporary residents living among you and members of their clans born in your country, and they will become your property. You can bequeath them to your children as an inherited property, and you can make them slaves for life, but you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. What? And Exodus 21, 2 through 6. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve you for 6 years, but in the 7th year he shall go free without paying anything. If he comes alone, he is to go free alone. But if he has a wife when he comes, she is to go with him. If the master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons of daughters, the woman and her children shall belong to her master, and only the man shall go free. But if the servant declares, I love my master and my wife and children, and do not want to go free, then his master must take him before the judges. He shall take him to the door of the doorpost and pierce his ear with an awl. Then he will be his servant for life. Last but not least, Exodus 21, 2 through 6. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve you for 6 years. But in the 7th year he shall go free without paying anything. If he comes alone, he is to go free alone. But if he has a wife when he comes, she is to go with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons or daughters, the women and her children shall belong to her master, and only the man shall go free. But if the servant declares, I love my master and my wife and children, and do not want to go free, then his master must take him before the judges. He shall take him to the door or the doorpost and pierce his ear with an awl. Then he will be his servant for life. What are they talking about? Just like how they put that ear tag on a cow? This is the stuff that they don't teach you. You're not going to hear this in church. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment. If you knew that there was all this slavery talk in the Bible, because nobody talks about it. And as always, peace.
Y'all know the Young Cavo University. We knew about it. You feel me? Shit, y'all know, bro. I've been even told y'all stuff like that. I even told y'all, like, bro, humans didn't even really come up with slavery, bro. These real life ETs, bro, they do this shit to other planets. They do this shit. Like, this what they do. You feel me, bro? This is what they do. Literally. This is what they do. They take over planets and steal resources.
So they made them carry the workload sevenfold. Anu, their father, was king. So Anu was like the head figure, right? A-N-U. Their chamberlain was Ninurta. Their canal controller, Inuji. They took the box of lots and cast the lots. The gods made the division. Anu went up to the sky, and Enlil took the earth for his people. The bolt which bars the sea was assigned to far-sighted Enki. When Anu had gone up to the sky, and the gods of the Apsu had gone below, the Anunnaki of the sky made the Igigi bear the workload. So these people went up into their sky ship. They're just kicking back. They got their feet up. They're relaxed. They're chilling. They said, you guys do all the work. We're going to sit back and watch from the sky. Just keep laboring. Keep creating this breakaway civilization that we started here. Keep laboring and keep digging these canals and building the buildings and laying down the plumbing and everything else. We're going to watch from the sky. Now, this is written before these Anunnaki had engaged mankind. Our cousins that were already here on the planet. They weren't Homo sapiens sapien like us, but they were a version of us. They weren't engaged by these people yet, though. These people were still doing the work themselves to create their own breakaway civilization, kind of really ignoring us and leaving us alone, believe it or not. So he says, when Anu had gone up to the sky and the gods of the Apsu had gone below, the Anunnaki of the sky made the Igigi bear the workload. The gods had to dig out canals. Now, why in the world are gods digging out canals? So we're clearly talking about flesh and blood people. We're talking about people that had advanced technology and advanced knowledge. We're not talking about creators of the universe. So he says, the gods had to dig out canals, had to clear channels, the lifelines of the land. Talking about farming now. The Igigi had to dig out canals, had to clear channels, lifelines of the land. The gods dug out the Tigris River. Wow. And then dug out the Euphrates. Then there's some missing pieces of the tablet. It says, in the deep, they set up the Apsu of the land. Inside it, raised its top. All the mountains, they were counting the years of loads. They had been laboring for quite some time, by the way. The Great Marsh, they were counting the years of loads. For 3,600 years, they bore the excess. 3,600 years is one rotation of their home planet around our sun. They call it a shar, according to these Anunnaki people. Hard work, night and day. They groaned and blamed each other. This is how you know they're not real gods. They groan. They're in pain. People are hurting. This back-breaking labor going on. They groaned and blamed each other, grumbled over the masses of excavated soil. Let us confront our masters, the Chamberlain, and get him to relieve us of our hard work. Come, let us carry, then it says the Lord, I think it was going to try to say Lord Enki, something to the counselor of the gods, because it's a broken piece of the tablet. The counselor of gods, the warrior from his dwelling, come, let us carry Enlil. Enlil is Yahweh in the modern day Bible. Let me tell you that again.
Now that's interesting. I ain't gonna lie. I can see why people say the Anunnaki evil. Feel me? Like, I can see why they say that, bro. Because when you read stuff like that, you be like, damn, these niggas evil. But this what they not telling you. They not telling you that Enki is Yakub. Enki is Odin. Enki is Zeus, Marduk, Prometheus, Satan, Jesus. They the same person. That's Enki, bro. Yakub. And if y'all listen to me, y'all know who Yakub is. And I always tell y'all, he's the bad one. There's duality in all things. You looking at the Anunnaki right now, bro. The modern day African Americans, black people, whatever you want to call them, those are the Anunnaki. You're Africans. You're Haitians. You're indigenous people all around the world. Those are the Anunnaki. The bad ones are the ones that you know about to make you think all of them bad. Real talk. But in actuality, you looking at them right now. They pretty much wrap this one up. Just showing y'all some TikToks, giving my perspectives on them. Feel me? That being said, put y'all thoughts in the comments, and we out. My big true talker, and on high as fucking the clouds like I'm inside a flying saucer. Say what, yeah, ooh. Already came too far with this, so I can't give it all. Ooh, no Milwaukee, bitch, I play with books. Ooh.